There is no elevator to success. You must take stairs. We don't have any controls over events. You only can control your outcomes.
One of the things that I coach business owners and leaders to do often is to take a sabbatical period of time, even if it's just going on vacation.
Because my team done really well. They had to step up to make those decisions. Your team can replace you and they can do in a lot of times much better than you do it.
Yeah.
How do you prepare your team to trust them to run the company, make good decisions, and just be leaders in general?
We call it role, requirements, responsibilities, and expectations. Surrounding yourself with role models, just look at your people who surround you and write plus or minus. Plus if they uplift you, and also minuses.
Diverse thinking to the podcast from a generational aspect.
Change doesn't have to be overwhelming. Once you've made change, your mind knows how to make change.
At any stage of our lives, we are unstoppable.
Welcome to this episode of Unstoppable, where leaders learn how to get unstuck, make big change, and achieve their potential. We're excited today about our guest, Andrey Sokurec. Today's guest is an inspiring entrepreneur, real estate investor, and best-selling author who's built a $100 million house buying, fix and flip business. He's the CEO of Homestead Road, a company known for its positive entrepreneurial culture and exceptional growth. Beyond his business success, he's a graduate of Harvard Business School's OPM program, a champion of YPO's Deal Network for the East Coast and Caribbean, and has been recognized in the prestigious Marquis Who's Who in America for his outstanding achievements. Our guest has a passion for empowering others, whether it's mentoring investors, building leaders with his team, or helping businesses grow through mergers and acquisitions. He's also the author of the best-selling book, Total Financial Awakening, where he shares insights on achieving financial freedom. Please welcome Andrey, a visionary leader who knows how to work less, achieve more, and turn bold ideas into reality. Welcome, Andrey.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, and it's nice to see you, Tyler, again.
Awesome. Well, you have such an amazing story, Andrey. We've known each other for several years, and I've been able to watch your success along the way. And so I'd love for you to share with our audience just a snippet of your story and what brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, well, thank you. Would be happy to share. And my message to a lot of people is there is no elevator to success. You must take stairs. So my life was not easy. I moved in 2005 in the US with no money. I could barely speak English. I'm still learning it, but it didn't stop me from starting building a real estate business. Because I didn't have money, I had to do all the work myself. And by 2010, I had a daughter. She was 1 year old, and I felt overwhelmed. Like when I was working, I felt guilty that I don't spend my time with my daughter. And when I was with my daughter, I felt guilty that I didn't spend time with my team. We had like small group of people. We had to do everything ourselves because we when I came to the country, we didn't have the money. It was April 1st, 2010, when I got the call from my sister-in-law. She said, hey, like you have to come to our house. Something terrible happened. And I went to her house, and I saw like a lot of police cars like surround the house, and I started asking like, what's happening? And what happened is my brother. I also have older brother. His name is Pavel, and his wife is Sasha, and they had a same age son, and he passed away unexpectedly, and that changed my perspective on this little island. It gave me a lot of lessons. And number one lesson is you have to separate your business and your personal life. And the exercise what they've done, and actually this was a Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He said, before you go to bed, say to yourself and say to your loved ones tomorrow you will die. And I start thinking about like, what have I done to my kids?
Mm.
What have I taught them? And if I'm gone tomorrow, how they will remember me? And every year, I think it's a good practice. Like what I do, I can share. I ask myself question like, how can I be a hero to my kids? How can I be a hero to my wife? How can I be a hero to my team and my community? And these are really powerful questions, because then it like you set right intentions, and when you have intentional living, then you align your actions with your intentions.
So, what were some of the mindsets you needed to change to be able to get to that place where you worked when you needed to work and you prioritized family?
For me personally, I have a mentor. His name is Mr. Jack Canfield. He wrote the book Chicken Soup with a Soul. And during his training, he or his like ideal life, he noted that he was able to have 160 free days, so 9 weeks of vacations. He didn't work during the weekend. And for me, that was unheard of. Like,
Wow.
how the heck you can have 160 days? The biggest challenge is what a lot of business owners have, especially like smaller business owners. You have to do everything yourself. But to build a business, like you need to build processing systems and have people in place who can actually operate the business. And in this case, you can work on the business and not work in the business all the time and solve problems. And we will not be able to see any growth.
That's amazing. So, what were some of the practical steps you needed to take to get those systems and that team in place so that you could focus on working on your business?
Being intentional about planning your year. And a couple of things what I personally do, and maybe it will be helpful, I start putting blocking my times based on what my intentions for this year. And I always start with blocking the time, my free days when I'm not talking about the business, I'm not
That's
checking
great.
my emails. And because if you don't block your vacations, it will be really hard to have those vacations or free times. That's the first step. Second step is, okay, how you grow. For me, setting intentions. What do I want to learn? And I put and block the conferences that I want to go. Like this year, I want to learn about leadership. I will sign for Columbia University and Cambridge University. If you have your kind of planner, just write no on every single page,
Ah,
on every single day. Someone
yeah.
calls you and says, hey, are you available to do this or do conference? And this is my process. Let me check my planner. Okay, I open my planner and I read no. And I say, no, I'm not available, because I really want to focus on I'm focused on my health, my business, and my family. Everything else is, and my team, obviously, but everything else is, which is not aligned with my priorities and it's not planned. I'm not really easy right now go to different conferences that is not on the list that I set intentions to.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So, as you were starting to build that habit, what was challenging about it for you and how did you overcome that?
If you do it for the first time, if you set right process systems and you tell people, hey, I'm going to be unavailable, and because it takes time, like for example, for a lot of business
Mhm.
owners, like at the end, you have to make all the decisions and there is a
Yeah.
toll of responsibility. So people need to rejuvenate and have their energy back. However, when I done it for the first time, I was surprised and a little bit disappointed, because my team done really well. They were happy. They had to step up. They had to make those decisions. So actually, it empowered them to accept responsibility, and they were happy. And nothing bad happened to my business. Actually, everything was fine. I was ready, like I was prepared to. Okay, what happened? Like, let me handle the situation.
Yeah.
In reality, like your team can replace you and they can do in a lot of times much better than you do it.
Yeah.
Andrey, do you make your team read your book as well?
No, it's
Yeah.
not a requirement. However, every 2 weeks we have lunch and learn sessions, and I teach the same principles and share with the team the same principles with the team, so they understand.
Yeah, I'd love if you talk a little bit more about how you instill the lessons of your book into your team so that you can trust your team to say, hey, I trust you to, I'm going to be on vacation to make the right decisions. Because I've been in a situation where I have not done that correctly and I got screwed. My team, and we're talking landscaping, did not get the job done right, this and that. But I had to take a step back, look at it and say, hey, well, that was my fault. I didn't prepare my team well enough. And I've had situations where I have prepared them and things went really well. How do you prepare your team to be able to go in there and, you know, trust them to run the company, make good decisions, and just be leaders in general?
Tyler, that's a really, really good question. So it
Yeah.
starts with setting right expectations. If you don't set right expectations for your team and don't put the process and system in place, they don't know what you expect. Okay. And
Yeah.
then create a document that clearly outline what they're supposed to do. We call it role, requirements, responsibilities, and expectations. Example, with your business, I expect you to return a call within 2 minutes. That's our standard process. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't recall 98% of calls within 2 minutes, like you don't do your job. And then you can create the same expectation. Hey, like your sales, like sales conversions, like I expect you to convert like 30 to 40% of the calls. And when they have, it's a 1-page document, but let them fail, because if they never fail, they will be scared to make a decision. And but you need to tell them, hey, like it's okay to fail and make mistakes, but not to repeat it, right?
Yeah, I know that's such a great one of the things that I coach business owners and leaders to do often is to take a sabbatical period of time, even if it's just going on vacation, so that your team can you first of all as a leader you can let go, but then your team can also rise up to the occasion. So that's really good. Tyler mentioned your book, and our audience hasn't been able to hear or hasn't heard about your book yet. So why don't you let's switch gears and just tell us about your book.
I put together a book called Total Financial Awakening. And the book, it's a business fable. It talks about a person who was broke, how he turns his life around and build a passive income. Exactly like what I've done with my life. And I think that's important for a lot of people to think about financial freedom, because financial freedom is not about having $10 million in a bank account. You're financially free when you don't need to work to support your lifestyle. And a lot of people don't realize, like, especially like being a loan officer, I've seen so many people who on the surface, they so successful, like it's like a rate race. You make more money, you buy more expensive car, then you buy more expensive car for your wife, then you go to more expensive home, and you try to impress people who don't really care about you at all, and they do the same thing. It's like keeping up with Jones. A lot of people never build that financial NASDAQ, and they just live from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And this financial freedom cannot be hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. For me, was I really wanted to make $10,000 a month, and I made a really easy estimate. If I buy 10 rental properties and I pay them off within 5 or 6 years aggressively, I will save the money. I will be set for life, making $10,000 of passive income, making money while you sleep.
So, what are ways that business owners and leaders who are maybe tied to their businesses, how do they get started in building passive income?
Again, I think it's starts with intentions and build your own plan. What helps, probably sit in a quiet place with a notebook and a pen, and just write down like where you want to go, where you want to be, how's your future looks like 10 years from now, 3 years from now, and 1 year from now. When you set right intentions, then you need to build a plan, and then you can execute on the plan. If you don't have your own plan, you become a part of someone else's plan, and that plan will be not the best for you, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. What are some things that you'd advise younger Andrey about?
I like a quote by Walt Disney. He said, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Because a lot of people just have a lot of dreams and they're talking about, but they don't pull the trigger and never execute. So making that first step, and if you're making a mistake, I tell a story very often during my trainings, like when people go to the seminars. When I was about to buy my first house, I was so scared. I made an offer on the house. And you know what? I was so scared that my offer would be accepted. So I actually wanted my offer would be declined because I was scared. I was so scared, very scared. I had like a queasy feeling in my stomach. I could not eat. I could not sleep. And this is very often when you so close to achieve your breakthrough goal or to do something else, maybe go to get a degree, maybe try a different career, maybe go to a seminar or training, and we're just scared. And especially like if you surround yourself with people who like negative or naysayers, they say, hey, nah, that's not a good idea. So the exercise that I've done before, and I do it still, just look at your people who surround you and write plus or minus. Plus if they uplift you, if they're always positive, if they encourage you, if they're excited about your ideas, and also minuses. Like we all know a lot of people who always, no matter what happens, like they always complain, they always say, hey, like this person received that or successful because his uncle is rich. They always drain your energy. So those people should be moved away from you. And this surrounding can be trainings, seminars, like listening to podcasts, reading books, and read about people's success, because it really depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for excuses why you cannot do something, you'll find those excuses. And vice versa. If you're looking for success, you start looking for success, like success leaves clues. That's what Tony Robbins said.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, it's stuck with me what you said a little bit ago about don't try to impress the people who don't care about you. And so that's such great advice to kind of take that relationship inventory and to say and the intentionality that you have and what do I know what I want to do and I know who I want to be, and to be able to say no to everything else.
Well, you know what? I'd like to share, Michelle, what we've done. I did a workshop once for business people, and I asked them, how many of you have business core values and vision? Everyone raised hands.
Yeah.
And I said, how many of you have your family vision and your family core values? Out of 70 people, how many people do you think raised their hand?
Probably a small handful, if that.
Yeah, there were 3 hands.
Yeah.
3 people. Well, this is what I've done. One of the Fridays, instead of like watching movies, I said, let's write our core values as a family, and let's write our mission statement as a family. And I paused. I took a step back, and kids were writing for about like, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes, different core values, and we compiled it. So probably within 60 minutes, we wrote our mission and core values as a family. I framed it, I put it on the wall, and we made an agreement that if they misbehave, they should go and read the core values because they written down.
Awesome.
And then, you know what? Then kids kept me accountable for. So, look, like you wrote this
Yeah.
core values. Like we have no electronics after 8, and like you bring your phone. So I think it's important to keep, as a family, to have that accountability.
That's really good advice. There's so many good nuggets. I have 2 pages of notes, so I wouldn't be able to even summarize them, but, I think, the fact that you continued to say start with intention, that's so important because if you don't have intention, I loved how you said, if you don't have a plan, you become somebody else's plan or something like or you work somebody else's plan, something on those lines. That was really powerful. And just the fact that you flipped the script on planning instead of planning business and then letting the other things come. You plan your life and what's important to you first, and then plan business around it. And then, just the fact that you talked about surrounding yourself with mentors and support and people that are uplifting is really important. But I especially just love the nugget that you gave about planning with your family. Because to your point, so many business owners and leaders plan their business, but they don't sit down with their families and say, what is our mission, vision, and values, and how do we live that every day? And so I hope that that resonates with our audience and that hopefully when the next time you do that seminar, more people raise their hand. So tell us, how can people find you or find your book?
Yeah, we right now we want to create more awareness about our brand Homestead Road, because we're planning to do merger acquisition and become a public company next couple of years. So like online, we have started to put a lot of content, educational content. So if you search Homestead Road or Andrey Sokurec on YouTube, and will be on all social media platforms. And Total Financial book, it's available on Amazon and like Barnes and Noble everywhere. And hopefully this book will inspire people to take a first step. It's not how to book. It's just a book to give you like a sparkle and move you closer, like take action, because if you need to feel the fear and do it anyway. Like all the goals and and dreams without actions worthless.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you for our time. Do you have any parting words for our audience today?
The quote by Mr. Jack Canfield: everything you want is on the other side of fear. So if you're afraid of something to do, just you need to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Awesome. Very good takeaway. Thank you for your time, Andrey.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Unstoppable. If you found this episode valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. At Vision One, we help business owners and leaders navigate critical transitions. Whether you're growing, buying, or selling, or transitioning to the next generation, if you're feeling stuck or need extra support, visit us at visiononeperformance.com to learn how we can help. And don't forget to check out our book, Unstoppable: 7 Simple Steps to Get Unstuck, Make the Big Change, and Unlock Your Potential. It's free on Audible, so you can find the link on our website. Remember, the only limits are the ones you set. Stay unstoppable, and we'll see you next time.